Alright guys, Marty Golden here. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about crate training today. Okay, I've gotten some questions on the internet about this, so I thought I would address it. My dog Chase is here with me today for a little bit of background. Yeah, girl, she's working on her place command. So anyway, just the fundamentals of crate training. So the first thing you want to do is get yourself a kennel or a crate from your local store. You can get them on the internet now. You can get them at your box stores, places like that. And you want to grab a crate for your puppy that is big enough for them to stand up, turn around, and lay back down. Okay? You don't want to have too much room inside the crate, extra room for the puppy, because crate training comes hand in hand with potty training. Okay, so the purpose of a crate, just off the top of my head, is a couple things. One is to make sure that you have a place for them to nap and be secure, that you can take a break from your puppy and they're not going to be in a situation where they're getting into trouble. Okay, the other thing we use a crate for is for potty training. And what I mean by that is when a dog is in their crate and they're in an area where they have just enough room to move around and be comfortable, they're very unlikely to potty where they sleep. They don't want to potty in their den. Okay? A crate really is just a modern day den. A lot of times I hear people feel bad, having to use a crate for a dog, and they think it's more like prison or a jail. And it's not. Dogs are den animals, and because of that, they like an area that is secure, that they can feel safe. Animals dig dens with one exit and one entrance only. And the reason why is because if they're sleeping and a predator comes at night or comes while they're sleeping, they only have one area that they have to protect, which is the entrance or the exit. Okay, so one of the reasons why you see this crate with a blanket over the top of it is because I like to keep it dark in a sense. Okay, I don't cover the front. I do leave the front open for the dog, but I do cover the sides where there are some holes that the dog can possibly see out or maybe feel exposed or vulnerable. Now, sometimes this is hard to get across to people because they think, well, the puppy's in there crying and he's pitching a fit and he's making a ruckus, and so of course he doesn't like being in there. Part of the reason why that's happening is because, one, the dog is alone. Okay? The other is because he might enjoy being out with you. But we have to be tough during crate training. We have to be strong-minded during crate training, because you have to realize that a crate eventually can be a safe way to transport your dog. It can be a place where your dog goes if they're injured, or maybe when at some point when you spay and neuter your dog, you're going to need a place to contain them. You can't try and train your dog to stay in a crate for the first time when they're under duress. Okay? So look, you guys can take this or leave it. I have certain clients that don't crate train their dog. They don't believe in them. They don't want to use them. They think they are again, like a prison or a jail. And I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise. Okay, I'm not. But from my experience, the majority of people who do this process properly are going to find that it can be a very beneficial tool down the road to contain your dog. Think of it this way. When you have kids, if you've ever had kids, you don't just let them sleep on the floor. You most often don't let them sleep in your bed. You put them in a bassinet. And then you transition to a crib. And then a lot of times these cribs now can transition into their first small bed. And then eventually their twin bed. So I don't want you to get me wrong. I don't want you to think that my dogs or your dogs have to spend their entire sleeping career in the crate or in the kennel. Okay? But my dogs do sometimes, if I travel. If I have guests over and I don't want them in the house and I put them out here in my garage, I have a couple of kennels that I will put them in. They sleep in my room at night on the floor. They're now old enough and reliable enough to sleep in my home. But when I go hunting, the crates in the back of my truck, my dogs stay in them. They don't travel in the truck with me. For safety, crates are a safer place to transport your animals than in your car. Because if you get into a car wreck and they get bounced around inside that vehicle, you're most likely to injure or potentially kill your dog. So by having them in a secure crate that's strapped down properly, they have a better chance of surviving some sort of accident, okay? And again, just back to the basics of potty training. This is a great way to teach your dog how to hold their bladder, how to hold their digestive system, so you don't always have to be watching over them like a hawk when they're walking around your house, okay? So obviously I'm a big believer in kennels and crates. I think they're a great way to manage your dog's behavior, prevent them from getting into trouble, and also potty training. Okay, so to make this process a little bit easier for you guys, I've brought out some things here that I use to make my life easier for the crate training process. Okay, so first and foremost, I like to make sure that by my kennel I have my food. Okay, my food dish. I keep my food in a sealed 5-gallon bucket with a Gamma Seal lid on the top, so prevents rodents or any other dogs from trying to get into the bucket and eat the food. I also keep for Striker, this is his bucket, a Solo cup which holds literally 1 cup of food. He eats this 3 times a day. Okay, so everything stays together, and I'll leave this out because it was inside of his crate. The other thing that I like to have is just something inside of his crate that makes it less hard. It's a plastic crate, right? So I want to put some sort of blanket or cushy type of towel inside there, but it's nothing that I expect to keep, because if he makes a mess on it or if he chews on it and destroys it, then I'm going to have to throw it away. So I don't want to use anything that is handed down from generations inside this crate. Okay, I might have mentioned this tip before. I like buying about 10 towels at a box store, Walmart, cheap towels that I use just particularly for my dogs. I put them in a bin. I put that bin in my laundry room, and if something happens, if dog vomits or makes a mess in the house or has an accident, those are the towels that I use. And the same thing goes for Striker. I've got a crate behind me here that has a bunch of towels in it for him with the disinfectant nearby. So I try to stay organized so everything is kind of in one place if I need it. The other thing is I like to keep water nearby. I don't like to fill water at a sink, and even though I have a sink in this garage, I like to have it nearby so I can pour water into his bowl if I need to. I'm a big believer when potty training to make sure that I'm not giving him a full bowl of water all the time. I want to just give him a little bit at a time. Okay, so the other thing I like to have for him, these are the toys that I leave with my dogs. Chew ropes. When dogs chew on these, they're actually flossing their teeth, helping them clean them. Plus, they just gravitate to them and they like to chew them. This one has a rubber toy attached to it, so that's something else that he can kind of chew on inside of his crate. Again, bully sticks, you'll hear me talk a lot about these. I love a little bully stick for him to chew on when he's in there. Nylabone bones are another good toy to have inside of his crate, gives him something to chew on. Big believer in antlers. Love these things. They're pretty pricey, but they last, and they last a long time. So you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck out of an antler, and dogs love to chew on them. They're very, very durable. People tend to be worried that maybe they'll be brittle and they'll break apart. They tend to be really, really strong, and for a puppy especially, they are not going to destroy this. Okay, these are the toys I would not leave in a crate. Something that is squeaky, that drives me crazy when I'm trying to sleep at night if a dog's squeaking on a toy. Plus, this is not a durable toy that will hold up over a long period of time of being chewed on. This is a toy that you've seen me play with Striker in other videos with. Okay, so this is not a toy that I would leave with Chase and allow her to just suckle on and chew on, because 1, it's not cheap, and 2, it's not designed to be used as a chew toy. It's a play toy. Okay, the other thing is something big like this, my Kong Wobbler. I like to use it on the floor. Okay, I'm not going to leave this in there. The banging of this in my crate is going to annoy me. Okay, so I'm not using that. I'm not using my bumpers. If you people are out there eventually going to be using your dogs for work, I don't leave canvas or vinyl bumpers with my dogs to chew on. They're not a chew toy. They're used for play and training, okay? So those are just a few of the ones. Oh, and this one here, this is a good one because this is my throw ball with a rope. A great toy to play with the dogs, but again, this rope he will destroy and chew on and basically turn into little pieces. So again, not designed for them to sit and chew on and be reliable. Will they chew on it? Absolutely, but they'll probably chew on it one time and you're going to have to throw the thing away. So the other thing I like for my crate is some sort of box radio. Okay, you can find these on the interweb. Put them on. Put some low music on. I like classical music for my dogs if they're having to stay by themselves. It's soothing. It's calm. I run classical music through my kennel building all the time, so there's some sort of calming music for the dogs, and I'm a big believer in it. This one has a little CD player in it, so you can put a CD in if you wanted to. It also has an AM FM radio that you can hook up to it. You can put it on top of the crate and let it play, or you can put it somewhere in the room just to get a little background noise, just to kind of make it easier for the dog to be in a quiet area by themselves. Okay, so the other, and this is kind of a pro tip of the day, try to add those for you guys. When I'm crate training, I'm also potty training. Okay, so what that means is at night I expect to be woken up at least one time at this point of training. And when that happens, I want to have a game plan. I want to be prepared. I don't want to just wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and stumble out of the bed. The dog sees me wake up and walk around the house looking for things that I'm going to need. And what I mean by that is shoes, in my area this time of year, a coat of some sort. Inside that coat, potty bags. And believe it or not, I like a little headlamp, because when my dog goes to the bathroom in the middle of the night, I actually like to pick it up right then and there. If you tell yourself you're going to get it later on, I guarantee you're going to forget where he did it. You're going to miss the opportunity to pick it up, and you'll find it at the bottom of your shoe at some point. So for me, this is just kind of a lightweight hooded sweatshirt. I leave it over the crate at night. Okay, I got a pair of Crocs that I use. Leave those next to the crate, so when you wake up, you get out of bed, you put your coat on, which has a bag of, in this pocket somewhere, a roll of bag of poop bags. Okay, so they're already in there. I have my retractable leash, which I like at night because the dog can wander around. I can kind of stand still if I need to. If I need to move, I'm not having to worry about picking a leash up off the ground. This is a perfect potty training tool at night when you have to go out in the middle of the night. Okay, and the other thing is the headlamp. Okay, I do like the headlamp because it just gives me some light. I live out in the country, and so there's not a lot of light out at all. If you live in an area where you have a lot of light and you have a backlight, maybe you don't need this, maybe it's a little overkill. But again, I think it's a good pro tip. Okay, so these are just my quick little make your life easier type ideas when it comes to crate training. You know, the other thing I want to mention is, look, when your dog is whining in the crate, you guys have to be strong. You have to ignore it. It will get better, I promise you. I've heard people tell me, I think my dog's going to kill himself whining and barking. I think his head is going to explode. And sometimes it feels like that because you're listening to it and it's ear piercing. Okay? Get yourself a pair of headsets. Put them over your ears. Get yourself Bluetooth little plug-in ear pod things. Listen to music if you have to drown out the whining and the barking. Okay, but I'm telling you, if you fight through it and you work through it, which I'm doing with Striker, he's getting a lot better. I have 3 locations around my home and my property. 1 in my bedroom, 1 in the garage right here, and then 1 in my kennel building in my lobby. So when I'm at work, he's with me. I can have a crate and use it there. If I'm in my room sleeping at night, I've got one there. And during the day, sometimes when I'm not spending time with him, I put him in here. Okay. That's going to lead me to my first question I've got that I want to answer for you guys. I got a question that said, how much time does Striker spend in the kennel throughout the day? My lifestyle, it's random. Sometimes he's in there for a couple hours. Sometimes he's in there for an hour. Sometimes he's in there for at night 4, 5, maybe 6 hours. Okay, so it just really depends. So for me, I think it's really healthy to balance it out. making sure that he's got plenty of time out, and plenty of time could be an hour and a half, 2 hours. But that's a lot of time to keep an eye on a puppy. So if you spend an hour and a half, 2 hours with him, hanging out, doing some training, loving on him, showing him around your house, put him up for nap time. Put him in his crate so he can practice being by himself in the crate and dealing with some of the stress that comes along with crate training, okay? If you only practice crate training at night when you guys are trying to sleep, it's never gonna work. Well, I shouldn't say that. It'll work, it's just gonna be a lot harder. You're gonna get more of a outburst at night if you don't practice randomly throughout the day. Now, it doesn't mean I want you to keep your dog in the crate all day. Not at all. If you're a person who works all day, and you went out and you got yourself a puppy, do not leave that puppy in the laundry room. You're not doing it any favors. Way too much room to poop over there, pee over there, come over here, chew on your trim, dig at your sheetrock, bite on wires. Not a good idea. So if you've gone out and you work 8 to 10 hour days and you're not able to come home, you need to hire somebody to come by and let your dog out. If you can't, and you went out and got a dog, you should really think twice about owning that animal. There is no reason that dog deserves to be in a crate all day long and try and hold its bladder and its digestive system while you're at work. It is not fair. So before getting a dog, think through, can I rely on somebody to come by and help me potty train this dog? Can I hire a college kid? Do I have a neighbor? Obviously, if you have a spouse that stays home, that's great. That'll be very helpful. Do you have a niece, a nephew, somebody that goes to school that has time to leave school? Come by. Pay them some cash to do it. It's worth the money. It's not a very long period of time to do this, but you have to have somebody letting that dog out throughout the day if for some reason you're unable to. Okay? The other part of this question was, do you keep him on a pretty strict schedule until he is more potty trained? Yes. Again, my dogs are reliable. Chase is reliable. She can wander around my house right now. I don't need her in a crate all day. Are there times she's in one? Yes. But it's not because I'm worried about her using the bathroom in my house. Just like children, we need to strength train their digestive system. They cannot hold it. So again, by using this as a psychological advantage, knowing that a majority of dogs won't potty where they sleep, this will force them to start holding it and building the strength to hold their bladder or hold their poop, whichever one you're working on, okay? As soon as you get home, as soon as you're done with nap time, as soon as you're done with your chore, go to them. Have your retractable leash on the top of the crate. Let them out, retractable leash, right through the house. In my case here in the garage, I go right through my side door and onto the grass, okay? So again, they need time out during the day. But even if you're a person that's home all day and has the ability to keep your dog out all day long, don't do it. Give them nap times in the crate. Give them opportunities to take a break. Give them opportunities to bark a little bit and learn that that's not going to let them out. And eventually they will settle down, they will stop pitching a fit, and they will quietly take a nap. And you can move on with the rest of your day after that. So anyway, appreciate you guys continuing to follow me. Please make comments. Ask me questions. Give me some ideas on how to help you guys. I have all kinds of information that I can share with you, but unless you ask me these questions, I'm never going to be able to fully answer your questions. So again, same old, like, subscribe, but most importantly, share. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you soon.